Hey guys, back with another build diary in SSF found standard in Ultimatum League. I have a bit of a runny nose. My allergies are acting up, so I'm sorry for any kind of sounds coming from that. I'll remake the video if it's too bad. I'm just gonna tear off a piece of paper here, so I got something to work with. So I was playing on my poison build, and in like a tier 3 map or something, a soul taker dropped. And I kind of just quickly looked up on PoE Ninja just to see what other people were doing with it. And they were doing most people were doing a bleed lad. So I decided to try one myself, since it's a pretty decent weapon. It should be able to work for me until red maps, I hope. It doesn't have the best fist damage roll, but it's good enough. So I made this character yesterday and played it up to maps. I'm 12 hours in. I played a bit today, like 2 hours or so. I think I've been in maps for like 4 hours, maybe 3-4 hours, something like that. No, wait, more. I hit maps at 7 hours with some AFK. So, and I've been AFKing a little bit on this too. So yeah, about 3 hours sounds right. 3 or 4 hours of maps. My gear is still not very good since I'm very early in solo self-found. It's mostly just res and life and everything. I found a magnet, which is kind of good, I guess. I'll probably swap it out at some point. I also managed to find a lion's roar. I don't even have quality on it yet. I don't think I have any baubles now. Still using a skull head that dropped at some point while leveling. There's nothing too much interesting going on with this character, really, I guess. The most interesting thing would be my petrified blood setup. I'll just run through a map and you'll get to see what it looks like. I don't have any... There we go. Let's do this pair so that I can fight Veritiana. Should be fine. No fist reflect. Oh god, this nose is killing me. So it's a lacerate bleed build with what is it called? Crimson Dance. So I'm stacking attack speed quite a bit. As you can see, it's doing fine in light maps. My poison build was too, but it was starting to feel like I needed a serious damage up before anything would happen. Plus bleed pops are always nice. So Soul Taker. It's a pretty decent weapon in and of itself. It has, I think it has around 350 physical DPS if you max roll it, maybe 320. Has decent attack speed, very good attack speed actually. And okay damage. And it also has the unique effect of both insufficient mana doesn't prevent melee attacks and your physical damage can shield. So this allows me to reserve a lot of my mana, because even if I run out of mana, I can still cast my skills, both my jump and my lacerate, and then on vulnerability and on, I think it's in my boots, right? Yeah, blood and sand. No, wait, where is it? Here it is. Vulnerability and Enduring Cry both have life tap, which means that I'll spend life instead of mana to cast them. That way I don't have any issues with mana at all. I don't need any form of mana leech or anything like that. So I reserve all of my mana and I reserve some of my life because I'm using Petrified Blood. Petrified Blood, in case you didn't know, I'll just clear these mobs here. What it does is I cannot leech life above 50%. So as you can see, my life is staying at 50% right now, even though I should be leeching above it. If I pop a life flask, I'll regen it. so I can do that if it's a panic. And what it gives in exchange for that is, if I can fucking find it, I swapped all of these around. Petrified Blood, there we go. Place a buff that protects the lower half of your life, preventing some of the immediate life loss when damaged by hits and applying the loss over time instead. Your life cannot be raised above low life other than by flasks, and while above low life, skills will cost life as well as mana. The skills will cost life as well as mana doesn't really matter to us. We want to be a low life as much as possible. And I need to reserve, I want to reserve more life, but I just haven't found a good way of doing it just yet. Basically what this means is that I think we take about half of the damage. 40% of life loss below half HP is prevented, and 86% of life loss prevented this way is lost over 4 seconds. So it is some damage reduction. 14% right now. It scales with levels, and it scales with quality, I think. Yeah. And what this does is that you instead take dot damage for half of the damage, pretty much they did. A little bit less than half of what they did. And if you have a bunch of life regen and life leech and such, this just makes you straight up tankier. The only problem is that when I'm above 50% HP, things can still one-shot me, because that effect doesn't kick in until I'm on low life, so half HP. I'm sorry about the paper, guys, at least I'm not sneezing all the time. This also means that we can use Bloodthirst in our lacerate setup. And this pretty much just means that if our damage scales with life now. So scaling life is both defensive and offensive for me right now. Supported attacks deal added physical damage with weapon equal to 2% of maximum life while on low life. I need to be on low life for this to work too, so I really need to find a way to reserve about 10% of my life. The problem is that the arrogant support reserves makes the things cost twice as much to reserve. I guess we could put our banner here. We would have more mana, but I think that's probably for the best. I might be able to fit a Herald of Purity in if I do it that way too, since we don't need the mana at all. So I'll probably check that out after this map. Alternatively, I could also just remove my life flask, but that's a bit risky. You wanna be able to instantly heal if something happens. Let's finish this map and we'll go through all of the links and stuff. I just wanted to go through the main mechanics of the build. Whoa. That was some laggy stuff. There we go. I'm still planning on farming for a Darkscorn. That's still my goal this league. I want to try it out with the poison build. It's just that getting there with that build would be harsh. And I'm still looking for upgrades for that build too in my loot filter. I didn't remove any of the highlights. As you can see, I'm still picking up quivers and stuff, even though this build doesn't use it. Need essences, I need pretty much everything. I'm being a bit bad and skipping a lot of league mechanics. I haven't done heist at all. I should be doing some delving, but I haven't. I'm full on sulfite. I haven't done any temples yet. I haven't even done like any Elva or anything like that. I should be doing all of that. I'm just not feeling like it right now. I'm a bit lazy. Not really min-maxing this as much as I should be. Where's the boss? It should be... oh, it's up there. Ah, it's this boss. Very annoying. There we go. Probably never doing another pier again, I hope. Okay. So, what's going on with this build right now? In more detail. Let me just take care of the runny nose. There we go. Okay, so we are a duelist, and we spec into a gladiator. This gives us more bleed damage, chance to bleed, maim, and also bleeding enemies we kill explode. It's the satisfying pop that you can see whenever we kill mobs, which is why I called it blood pop. We also have some frenzy charge generation from this. Endurance charge, we don't get endurance charges from this because we're not dual wielding. I'm using a shield right now. I might swap to dual wield later, maybe, perhaps. I would have to find a really good ox for that though, which I'm not really holding out for. So I'm using a shield until we find like a sick ass 350 plus physical DPS ox, or an elder ox that I can craft. We also have arena challenger. I took this after blood explosion, so I went, what is it, first lab, cruel lab, mercy lab, and then uber lab up here. Arena challenger gives us attack and movement speed per challenger charge. We have a 25% chance to gain a challenger charge when we hit a rare or unique enemy while we're in blood stance, and we gain challenger charge whenever we kill enemies once we're in sand charge. Stance, of course, sorry. We can have 10 as maximum, so that's 20% more movement speed and attack speed, which is quite a lot, quite decent, and you have this up pretty much all the time. Because of that, I spec into versatile stance. This means that whenever we swap stances, we get some attack speed, and we also get some benefits for the different stances, some less reservation. Stances we use, since we're using lacerate. Lacerate is it's this skill, and whenever you swap between the stances, you either get more AoE or more damage in blood stance. Stance actually is more AoE, so this is for clearing. This is for single target. I should be swapping a bit more while I'm clearing too, just to get the extra attack speed, but it isn't super important. We link lacerate with chance to bleed, deadly ailments, brutality support, bloodthirst, and melee physical damage. All of these are pretty much just more damage. Bloodthirst is the only one that has a mechanic to it. The rest of them is just you deal more damage. I can't deal any elemental or chaos damage, but that doesn't matter because we're doing bleeds, and bleeds need to be physical. Unlike poison, which is both physical and chaos. And this is just more dot damage and such. Next, we can talk about Blood and Sand. So Blood and Sand is, without Blood and Sand on, you are by default in blood stance with your lacerate. But if you have this ability, you can swap between sand and blood. And it gives us a bunch of benefits because of our talent points also. The aura effect of itself, where it's the stance. It's not an aura, it's a stance, I guess. Melee skills deal 13% more area damage when in blood stance, have less area when in blood stance, has more area of effect while in sand, but it deals less area damage when in sand stance. And leveling it up gives us more stats, I think. I should quality this too, but working on it. I just recently put this in. I was using this before, Flesh and Stone, which is technically better, but it reserves more mana. So what this does is it gives you blind enemies when you're in sand, and you deal more physical damage when you're close to enemies in blood. Pretty much, you maim them when you're close to them. But since it reserves so much mana, I can't really fit it in. I would prefer using Flesh and Stone over Blood and Sand, but I can't seem to get it to work unless I get an Enlighten. I might be able to make it work that way. Actually, didn't I? What's that? Yeah, that was probably the other league. When I got like 3 Enlighten in Ultimatum, I think. Other than Blood and Sand, we have Vitality is just, it gives us life regen and it makes us reserve more life. This is linked to Arrogance support, so that it reserves life instead of mana. We're using Pride and War Banner 2. Pride is just aura that gives us a bunch more physical damage. Very good. And the War Banner is what I have here on E. And you have it on like a regular aura. You start the map with it, and then you get charges as you kill mobs. And whenever you put it down again, you put it down by pressing the button again, E in my case. And that places the banner down, it removes the reserve that it does, and it gives you a bunch of extra stats for a bit. So in this case, it gives us area of effect, gives us accuracy, which doesn't matter for us. The nearby enemies takes increased physical damage, which is very, very good. It's a lot better than just giving you 11% increased physical damage. So it's a very, very strong thing. It also gives you adrenaline, 0.05 seconds per stage when placing the banner. So I think it gives you adrenaline for 2.5 seconds, if I'm correct, when you have 50 charges, perhaps? Or is it 5 seconds? I don't know. It gives you adrenaline. Adrenaline is 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack speed, cast speed, and movement speed. And you get 10% additional physical damage reduction also, which is negligible. You don't really care about that. I managed to find a tabula also. It's a 6 link, it doesn't do anything else, in case you didn't know. Magnate, the belt we went over earlier. It's a bad base. Increased stun duration doesn't really do for us anything for us, but it gives us some strength. Strength is both damage and life. It gives us increased global physical damage, which is pretty much just means 30% increased physical damage for us, I'm pretty sure. More flask charges gained, doesn't really matter. We're not spamming flasks too much. And we get some all rests when we have above 200 strength, which we do. We have quite a bit of strength, being a gladiator. Some shitty gloves with just life and rest, very low life on them even. I can even put more life on it. I guess I didn't do it because I didn't have the currency earlier. There we go. Upgrades, boys. Boots, just 25% move speed with good rest and good life. These are actually pretty good. Really wish they had 30% movement speed. I will keep them for a very long time if they had, but I'll probably downgrade some of the stats, at least the resistances, in order to get more movement speed, since it's hard to get elsewhere. Rings are very, very bad. They're pretty much only giving life and some resistances. Both of them have tier 1 life rolls though, and life is kind of what I need the most right now. My neck is extremely bad too. It's just giving us a bunch of intelligence pretty much. and a little bit of dex. We're very installed on this build, as you can see, and we needed to level up our curses and auras and stuff. I should probably anoint something like utmost intellect for now, or just a regular ancestral knowledge or something like that for a bit, until I can find a better neck and rings that gives us intelligence too. You can get intelligence on helmets too. I'm using a skull head right now, which is just life, and it gives us all res also. It's the best that I have found so far. I'll upgrade this as soon as I find a decent armor helmet that gives us more life and res. And hopefully some intelligence too, because you can get it on heads. And that's pretty much it. Our shield is very, very bad too. It's just there to fill out the spot. As for pathing, spec'd out here, went down here, picked up Art of the Gladiator. I started leveling with dual wield for a bit, just because it's easier while you're leveling, but as soon as I equipped my Soul Taker, I think even a bit before that, I equipped a shield instead and spec'd into Defiance as soon as I got some respec points that you get from just from the campaign. I picked up Versatile Stance very late, but I picked up Hatchet Master kind of early, I think. Golem Blood is also very good to get early. I would suggest, if you're doing this build, you should probably focus on getting Bloodletting kind of early. Raise up to Resolute Technique, which makes it so that cannot be evaded. We will always hit with our attacks, but you cannot crit. But since Bleed doesn't scale with crit, this is kind of a no-brainer for us. This means that we don't have to get any kind of accuracy at all, and we still have 100% chance against both regular and evasive monsters. There's also some bleed damage over here, or physical damage over time multipliers, which you should get. Not sure how much Crush does. It's probably pretty good. There's life down here. Originally I pathed through this, but we're kinda point starred right now on the build. I also noticed that these nodes are extremely good because they give you a 12% attack speed. The final node here. There's some Life Leech. Life Leech isn't... It's good, but I think with the Enduring Cry, we're fine. Oh yeah, I should mention that too. We also have Call to Arms, and then I have Enduring Cry somewhere here. Just slotted in by itself, I think. Where is it? Oh, it's with life type. Yeah, there we go. So Enduring Cry. I also have it on left click because we have Call to Arms, which means that whenever we war Cry, we don't need to do an animation. So whenever I walk, when it's up, I just do the shout, and it regens some of our life, and it gives us endurance charges if we're close to enemies. We also spec into this, which gives us some endurance charges. And you also get a buff from Enduring Cry, which makes endurance charges stronger, gives you more resistance, and physical damage reduction. Not too fussed about it. I mostly have it because of the life regen. It would be better to not have this Call to Arms, and instead have Enduring Cry on a specific hotkey that you use yourself. I'll probably do that for bosses once we get there, endgame bosses. Other than that, we just spec into damage with Oxus and the ailments, any physical damage over time multiplier that we can get, or multiplier for bleeds, attack speed. Took berserking up here. We don't use rage charges, so I might respec these. I really want to get veteran soldier, so what I'm thinking I'll probably do is, once I have 3 blues, I'll anoint Slaughter and unspec all of these and path up to veteran soldier. For now, for most of the rest of my levels, I'm probably just putting points into life. I should consider getting tireless. It's two pathing nodes though, but it's strength, so strength is kind of good for us. Considering that if stuns get too much, I'll spec into Unwavering Stance, but I haven't had too many issues with it yet. We have some more life to pick up there too. I could get Frenzied Charges, Endurance Charges too. Consider it getting Disciple of Slaughter, because the nodes up to it are pretty good. If I can get a Thread of Hope, I would probably put it here, and then I could probably get Discipline of Slaughter, and I think that you get maybe Savagery or Versatile Stance when you have it there too. Not too sure. You might be able to get Defiance too without these nodes. Retaliation would be pretty good for us too, because it's attack speed on the way here and more damage. And Dirty Techniques is also pretty good. It's just that it's 2 nodes. Like I said, I need life pretty badly right now, and there's a bunch of other stuff I want to get. I'm considering specking out this, picking up this, and probably picking up Dirty Techniques after that. And if I manage to get a cluster hero, I will put it here, and I would probably unspec from this, I would presume. I might actually unspec from this right now, because it's quite a lot of points for not much life. But we'll see. I'll mess around a bit. Anyways, that's the first diary of this character. Thank you guys for watching. Leave any comments if you have any suggestions or any questions towards the build. I'm happy to answer or accept any tips you can give me. And I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that is. Bye bye. Oh yeah, wait. I should show this too. A little bit of extra clip here. I found these. I might do something with these. I might do a Deadeye with these at some point if I find a really good bow, but not yet for a while. And there isn't much time left in the league, so we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.